Yes, nickname is JR. I'm Jarek's older brother. Joni is our eldest. Um, and when Jarek was asking me about this, or to tell me about this, a little disclaimer, I'm not a pastor. I'm not an expert, so I figured I'll just share what I've learned through my 14 years of happy marriage, as my wife might say. And how I'll do it is I'll give you the lesson, I'll try and give you an example, and then I'll try and give you my advice. And sorry for the other three if I take too long, just bring a buzzer or something and cut it short. So the first thing I learned is that, marriage is not about who's right or who's wrong. It's about give and take. I'm going to ask you 3 questions. Just answer as honest as you can. If you think it's about you, you can raise your hand. If you think it's your partner, you can point to your partner. So the first question is, at home, who tends to be messy or more messy? Doesn't do the laundry, doesn't do the dishes. Oh, that's really good. So you both agree. How about who tends to spend more money or spoiled? Oh, wow, that's a surprise. And then something positive. Who is passionate, sweet, thoughtful?
Both of us.
Oh, wow. That's excellent. Yeah, they agree. Round of applause. But the point there is that, sometimes it's the little things. And you both may be right or you both may be wrong. And the problem is growing up, our parents taught us that what is right and what is wrong. But they never told us that in the future you'll meet another person who might challenge what you think is right and what you think is wrong. And if you don't recognize who needs it more at that moment, and you don't let go or let be, then it's going to be harder to resolve those issues. It's easy to complain, you're messy, right? You don't stick to the budget, or you don't take me out on dates anymore. But for you to resolve your issues, sometimes you have to let it be. In Tagalog, I just learned it, it's magparaya. The second lesson I learned is that, marriage is not about, is neither a beginning nor an end. Do you agree? You're nodding. Does it make sense? One of the common symbols that we use for marriage is the ring, right? And that's exactly what they say. It's neither a beginning nor an end because it's a symbol of our eternal love for each other, right? But again, the disclaimer there is they never tell you that it's hard work to keep that going. The analogies that I use is kind of like that hamster on that wheel. If you stop running, then the fantasy, the fairy tale ends. And for me, one of the symbols that I use for the ring as well is I kind of look at it as like a reset button. Sometimes, if you were training for a marathon and the finish line is at the 10th mile and then you're at the 9th mile and your feet hurt and it's so easy to give up, you can think about that reset button. And I remember for me it was similar to when I saw Rima. They opened that door and she was walking down that aisle. I was thinking to myself, what did I do to deserve someone like her? And I had to slip that in. And it doesn't have to be that way, For you just have to find that reset button. Why you decided that this is the person I want to be there for the rest of my life, to be my companion. And I want you to remind yourself of that. Before, when you get that fork in the road, wherein, do I give up now and rest? Or do I find my second wind? Think about that. And I think the sooner you recognize that, the easier it would be for you to keep moving forward. And I was gonna go behind a little bit of a audience participation here. Do you mind standing for a minute and turning around? Sorry. You know, the last kind of lesson I learned and I read that about marriage is marriage is above and beyond you and I. Do you understand or do you agree? Yes, of course you have to. But this is just an example of a handful of people who have decided to sacrifice their time, invest in your relationship. We decided to witness this day because we wanted to say that, like you, we are committed to your marriage and we want you to be successful. And these are just a handful of people that you can lean on during that time that you have doubts. And for me, you know, outside of family, what I found was helpful was that you have to find that center, that core. And that core for me was God. And in fact, you know, I do not share this, but I have been praying that sooner or later, you know, you get to this point that you find your better half. And I'm happy that God has answered my prayer. And I'd like to take this opportunity to pray for both of you. You know, I would like to thank God for this beautiful day in this beautiful venue surrounded by beautiful people. And I pray that God will continue to bless you so that you will continue to love each other, be kind to each other, and hopefully have lots of Jerics and Cats in the future who would also be God-fearing. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm Andy, Jeric and Kat's friend, and Kat's mom's friend's first cousin, as it turns out, and Joni's teacher. Marriage is a partnership. As JR so eloquently put it, it's a give and take. Sometimes you have to give. Give each other the time to grow, to mature, to learn. Give importance to your spiritual values and beliefs. A large-scale study showed that couples who share values, goals, and beliefs are happier. I researched that stuff, bro. When conflicts arise, and believe me, they will, give it some thought before you say anything hurtful or unkind, something that you might later on regret. Whenever possible, give in. As JR said, this is the secret to a harmonious coexistence. But never, under any circumstances, give up on yourselves or on each other. And sometimes you have to take charge, take command of a situation. You can be a hero or a heroine, even in everyday situations. Take the shot. And what I mean is take chances, take risks, but make sure that they are calculated ones. When things go well, take credit. When you make a mistake, take responsibility. Excuses are like quicksand. They only bury you deeper. When you feel burnt out and exhausted, take a deep breath. Take a step back. Take a hike. I'll even go with you. And when your spouse is on the rampage, take cover. Take your vows seriously. Those aren't just words. They are your beacon to guide you through your path through life. Take care Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, take care of your relationships, take care of business, but never, ever take each other for granted. And one final take. Take a good look around. Here, in this magical fairy tale place, you've accomplished what you set out to do, what you planned and prepared for, your dream wedding, and your life together. And here, surrounded by your family and friends who love you and who wish you all the best, you are exactly where you were always meant to be. It's a great day, a wonderful day, but only the first of many, many wonderful days together. As for my advice, you can take it or leave it, but I suggest you take it. I love you both.
We're so privileged to be here, and I met Cathleen at the review school, nursing review school, and we clicked like white on rice. And I'm a very long-winded person, but just trying to keep this really short. I would like to advise the couple that today we're basically witnessing a covenant. So it's a covenant of marriage. And it's one of the very big and serious covenants. And my advice is to keep your covenants and to keep your covenants to each other, because it's also tantamount to keeping your covenants with your Heavenly Father and to each other, basically, which is the most important thing. And there's no one more important in this world than Jarek is to Cathleen and Cathleen is to Jarek. And of course, this would include your future family and your children and your parents and in-laws. And keep the faith, be patient and kind to each other, as in Corinthians, and be diligent in protecting your family, because the adversary will want to destroy that. And he'll want to take away your joy. And joy is more important than happiness. And we will always have you in our prayers, and we are here for you and in support of you. And just as your brother said, this, presence of your beloved friends, we're here and you can lean on us, and you can count on that. And do not forget that prayers are very important too, that at the end of the day you say your prayers and take the weekly Eucharist, because that is your weekly commitment that will remind you of your wedding day today. So this I leave with you, and I want to say that Charles and I, we love you very dearly, and we love your parents, and it's an honor to be here. Thank you.
Hello. Everybody's so serious. This is marriage. This is not a funeral. So nobody died. So why is everybody too serious? I don't know. They asked me to, maybe they called me last because they're saving the best for last. And they're just kidding. Kat asked me to give an marriage advice to both of you. There is really no surefire formula for marriage. I've been married for 19 years in Isipano. Unfortunately, my wife has passed away. It was one of the most painful moments of my life. So, what I'm trying to say is, you appreciate each other. There will always come a time, okay, that one of you will go ahead of each other. And that would be a very painful time. So, with the time we have here on earth, appreciate each other. Okay. I remember during our wedding, I gave my wife her wedding gift. It was a trip to the Bahamas. This year would have been our silver anniversary. And she asked me what would I give her on the silver anniversary. And I told her, of course, I'm going to pick you up. After bringing her to the Bahamas first year and then picking her up, hina nyo. Stop being too stiff. Okay. Again, remember, Jerick, that there's this cardinal rule in marriage. Like what they say, okay, marriage is give and take. You give, she takes. And then the cardinal rule of marriage, they say, is the wife is always right. I think you know this. The second rule is if the wife is wrong, refer to rule number 1. And put it on another way, admit it when you are wrong. Shut up when you're right. Well, seriously now. Oh, serious na tuloy. I was asking Kat, do I need to be very serious? Of course not. So I'm trying to liven up things a little bit. The basic anchor of marriage, I believe, is humility. Okay? You have to be humble. Because being humble would be the anchor of everything. Learn to forgive. Learn to forget. You cannot forgive and you cannot forget if you are not humble. Whoever said that marriage is a bed of roses is, maybe drunk. Marriage definitely, I'm not trying to dissuade you, but marriage has its ups and downs. It's like a roller coaster ride, so be ready for it. It's full of thrills and adventures and a lot of scary moments. Be kind to each other. You cannot be kind if you are not humble. If you are too proud, I will be humble. Siya muna. No, don't wait for each other. When you get into a discussion, don't wait for each other to say, mauna ka, mauna siya. This is one of the things that we practiced when my wife was alive. We never go to sleep arguing. We resolve the problem before we sleep. So that when we get up, we have more energy to have a discussion. Just kidding. No, but when we wake up, kalimutan na yan. That's why I'm saying it's forgive and forget. You have to forgive and forget. And then be kind. Be kind and watch your words. Okay? Words are like a knife. They cut through flesh. Masakit. Mas masakit. Words are more painful than physical hurt. And painful words leave a bigger mark. Okay? So, again, it will all boil down to being humble. You have to work on it. You have to, like what the speaker before me said, pray together. Praying together helps a lot. Believe in Him. Believe in yourselves. Believe that everything has an answer. So, I wouldn't want to take more of your time. I'm just wishing you good luck, best wishes, and congratulations.